Hi everyone. Today I'm going to talk about some of my least worn knits. I imagine that most knitters have experienced working for weeks or even months on a knitting project only to realize when it's done that it doesn't work. So today I wanted to share some of my least worn knits and what they've taught me. If you have experiences or tips that you'd like to share, feel free to leave a comment below and let's get started. First is the ripped Raglan by Anne Wenzel. I was so excited about this cardigan. I thought it was so beautiful, but unfortunately this design doesn't fit my body type. The raglan is really long and it makes the armhole sit really low, almost around my waist. As a result, the arm movement feels really restricted and awkward. Actually, after finishing this cardigan and not liking it, I didn't really understand what the issue was because I bought another pattern from the same designer. Perhaps you know it, the spot sweater. It was all over my Instagram feed and I was totally influenced by what I saw. But after making the yoke, I realized that I would have exactly the same challenge as with this cardigan. So luckily, that project I gave up after making the yoke. I still really like the yarn color and also the combination with the golden buttons. So perhaps I will try to unravel and use it for another cardigan. I'm not sure the result will be good though because I used mohair. Next up is the puff tee by Knitting for Olive. This design was super popular, at least in Scandinavia, maybe 5, 6 years ago. It was all over my social media. First of all, I think the puff shoulders isn't really a good match for someone who has like broader, straight shoulders like me. And secondly, this tee is made out of 2 strands of mohair. And only after trying on the finished tee, I realized that I don't actually know who would want to wear a tee made out of mohair. What kind of weather is a mohair tee kind of weather? It's warm enough outside to wear tee without anything on top of it. You probably don't want to wear mohair. And if it's a mohair kind of weather, you probably don't want to wear tee without anything on top of it. So this tee I only wore once, maybe a couple of hours, and then I had to take it off because I was super hot and also it was kind of itchy. I really like the color though, but since it's made out of 2 strands of mohair, I don't think it's worth trying to unravel. This is the Friday tee by Petite Knit. I knitted this in Sunday from Sannes Garn, which is one of my favorite merino yarns. But the fit of this tee just isn't my style. I don't really wear fitted tees, so I don't know why I made this, but I guess I once again got influenced by what I saw on social media. Also, I'm not sure I actually like the color combination. I like the blue, but I think the orange color was not the right choice. Since I like the yarn, I think I'll unravel this tee and use the yarn for something else. So next up is the Aosta Sweater by the Knit Pearl Girl. I really love this stitch pattern. I actually also made the cardigan, which unfortunately I didn't use either. I think there are different reasons why I didn't use the Aosta knits. Firstly, I think I didn't enjoy thick sweaters as much as I thought I would. At the time when I made the sweater and also the cardigan, I was really into thick yarns, big needles, and projects that were fast to finish. But I actually didn't enjoy wearing these thick knits, so they mostly ended up sitting in the closet. Secondly, I made the mistake of making 3/4 sleeves. The sweater is made of worsted yarn, the kind of garment you would wear on colder days where you definitely want to have a full sleeve. And I have no idea why I thought it would be a good idea with 3/4 sleeves. So this is a Cumulus blouse by Petite Knit. This is another knit that I have no idea why I made. If I saw this in a shop, I wouldn't have looked twice, yet I decided to spend money and time on making it myself. The only thing I can think of is that I again got influenced by what I saw on social media. I'm not really sure about the color either. I don't think it's a color I enjoy wearing. The yarn is lovely though. I made it in one strand of silk and one strand of mohair. So perhaps it's worth rocking it and combining it with another color of yarn to make a different color profile and maybe get more use out of it. Last is the Jenny jacket v-neck, also by Petite Knit. Again, I have no idea why I made it. This is really not my style, and I think I knew it from even before I started working on this project. So it's not the same situation as, for instance, with the ribbed raglan, where I actually really liked the design and thought I was going to use it. It just didn't turn out that way. Perhaps it's because it looked challenging and I wanted a challenge, but then I think there are so many other and better ways to challenge oneself. On top of that, I don't like the yarn or the color. I knitted it in Tynd Per Gynt from Sannes Garn, held together with a strand of mohair, and I think it's super itchy. I've heard that the yarn gets softer with more wear and wash, but since I never wore this cardigan, I don't know if it's correct. I think there's no reason to unravel this cardigan since I don't like the yarn. I think it's super itchy and I don't like the color either. So it's not like I would want to make something else with this yarn. So those were some of my least worn knits. Unfortunately, these 6 knits aren't the only knits that I've made that I rarely or never use. Unfortunately, I never really reflected on why I didn't use them. I just moved on to the next project. So going through my knits has definitely been a learning experience, and hopefully I now understand fit, yarn choice, and my personal preference a little better. One thing is for sure though, I'll definitely be more critical before I mindlessly cast on every popular design that shows up in my social media feed. Thank you for watching. If you're interested, I recently also shared my most worn knits.